Welcome to this episode of the Standing Ovation. Today, Ovation CXM experts explain the basics of customer journey mapping.
One of the main questions we get is like, what is a customer journey map? And realistically, when you look at it, it's like the life cycle of that customer's experience with your organization, your company, from the first time they interact with you all the way to the end of them being a customer. And ideally, it's a journey that never ends. And so when you look at it from an overarching perspective, your master customer journey is just a collection of smaller journeys. That could be from activation, that could be from onboarding, from support. And so when we look at mapping the actual customer journey, it's looking at each of those individual journeys. What are the touch points? What are the tasks and the experiences within, just so we can find that optimal experience for our customers as we progress that. There are 5 essential truths of customer journeys. So the first one is the overall customer journey consists of smaller journeys that are often team specific. And the second one we get into is the customer journey should never end. You must always deepen and strengthen that customer journey. It should be a life cycle. And that's how we want to view that. The third is customer journeys are complex, especially when third parties are responsible for a portion of it. You must optimize for visibility, communication, and collaboration. And without that, you will fail along the way. So making sure that each team, each organization has visibility that they need to be successful in their specific role of that customer journey. The fourth, using customer journey data in near real time to support and guide their journeys is the key to retention and satisfaction. So we have the data, we just need to put it to work. We need to use the data to make sure that we're optimizing for the right key points along the way. And the fifth is customer experience is your responsibility. It must be a priority throughout the organization and especially at the top of your organization. And that's the only way that you can actually structure this to drive positive business outcomes.
When we say the customer journey consists of smaller journeys that are often team specific, again, back to we always want to be customer centric, customer facing the organization, not how does the organization, certainly we want to re-engineer and improve how the organization delivers to the customer. But the really key thing here is, okay, the customer is engaging with a team. What is that team trying to do for them? How does the customer know that that's happening? If you'll recall, we said earlier, some of the crazy insights you get as you do these journey mapping sessions is, the sales team goes, wait, hang on a second. I closed this person and it's 2 weeks before they hear from anybody internally. How can that happen? Well, how that can happen is an internal team is working furiously to get the customer, loaded into the system, do risk management and underwriting work and figure out, what solution stack we're actually going to be able to deliver to them based on what they've bought, et cetera. There could be a ton of things happening inside of a team. If the customer doesn't see it, it might as well not exist, right? So that's one of the big pieces to keep in mind is that, each journey within that step, there may be a lot going on, and you need to make sure that the people who should have visibility to it do have visibility to it. As Tyler said, customer journeys should never end. They should always be a life cycle. And you should always be looking at them as such, right? Actively managing how a customer traverses your enterprise, because that's it's not just a critical thing in terms of customer experience, but customers are sources of revenue. That's where your money comes from. So taking care of the customer should be job one. It is a satisfied customer is the most defensible position in any marketplace and the lowest cost position in any industry. Customer journeys can be complex, especially where you've got other people involved in delivery. So visibility is a critical element of that, right? One of the biggest challenges we see in delivering successful customer journeys is a customer comes to an enterprise and says, hey, where am I in a process? And it turns out that they're in the middle of a step being executed by somebody outside of your company. And that person at your enterprise has zero visibility into what's happening. That's not great. In fact, that's near disastrous, and it's far too frequent that we discover that that's the case, right? So simply getting cross-enterprise ecosystem visibility. What's going on over there in that organization that I'm not a part of that is touching this customer? Super critical. Everybody should know around that customer from a 360 view, where are they and how are they doing and what's coming next? and really great customer experience delivery organizations give that information to the customer. Here's where you are. There's 5 steps. You're on step 2. This team's got it. They'll get back to you in 2 days. When you get to step 4, we're going to need this from you, right? That's a really great way to deliver to customers, keep them engaged. Remember, what's disappointment? It's when expectation doesn't meet reality. Setting expectation with a client upfront, huge part of success. And then, again, for everyone who has the customer in their grasp for a particular step or for delivering a particular stage of a journey, own a good outcome, right? And you can help as executive management to deliver that good outcome by ensuring that that person knows who had them last, who's getting them next, what is it you need to do, what is it you need to know in order to get this done. Let me give all of that to you right here so this can go super well. So that you're not spending all your time looking for what it is the customer needs. You've already got it. You're spending your time making sure that the interaction goes really well.
Everything we've been talking about is how are we mapping our current state? What is the current state of our customer's journey or the customer life cycle? And the end goal is to get to our ideal state. And so from a current state perspective, we're just looking at what does my customer journey look like today? What are the negative experiences, both internally or externally? To Tim's point, there are third parties that are part of this journey. What are the positive experiences that our customers are having? How can we double click or double down on those positive experiences and push those along the way? And then what are the channels, the communications that are being used? What messages are being delivered? So what is the marketing that is being delivered to the customer along each stage? And then lastly, what systems are we using to deliver and or catalog these experiences? And so when you focus on kind of those 5 key aspects to each journey, you then get to the ideal state, which is the happy path. What changes are we making to ensure consistency, clarity, relevancy, and personalization across every interaction our customers will have with us along their entire life cycle of being our customer?
What are the things that we uncover that are major challenges between where things are today and where they should be? How do you get to an ideal state from what is often a broken or fragmented or confusing process for a client? And there's some fairly straightforward things that tend to be consistent across journeys. And those are, lack of visibility. People inside the organization don't know who else in the organization is touching the customer next, last, where the customer is in a process or a journey. So a large part of the challenge is internal visibility, right? Which then you can share with the customer to let them know where they are in a process. Particularly true if you're using external organizations, right? Which quite often it's just a black box. You hand something off to a partner and you wait for it to come back and hope it goes well. That's not a great way to deliver an excellent customer experience. So a big part of it is, how do you drive end-to-end visibility internally and externally to the client? Then another big piece of it is as we dive into, events and tasks and teams and the channels they're using, we often uncover opportunities for optimization, right? One is if a customer can get the answer for something from you without actually having to come to you, that's a great experience. So let's figure out how we can take things that the team is handing the customer or things they're telling them and just make that available, right? Just let the customer get that, right? So because there's no better experience as a customer than I need to know something and it's right there in the platform I'm using, embedded in the solution that you've given me as I'm traversing a journey. So that's a great piece that we often uncover. Another big challenge we find is I'm trying to execute something for this customer and I don't have what I need. I don't have the information. I don't have access to the system. So I'm having a conversation with the customer and then I've got to go over here to this other place or talk to these other people or get this answer from somewhere else. That's not a great experience for the customer, and it certainly isn't a great experience for your people. So one of the big things we uncover there is let's make the journey visible to everybody. Let's let this person who's got the customer in their grasp know exactly where they are in the process and who's got next. And then here's what you need to know. I'm going to bring you the information. The answers are in the organization somewhere. The key is uncovering how do you go get those today and how can I bring those to you tomorrow so that you don't have to phase out of this interaction with the customer in order to get that, right? That's a really big benefit that we find. And when you do that, it feels like a more bespoke managed process to the customer as well. Oh, you know who I am, you know what I'm trying to do right now, and you've got what I need. Wow, that's great. It's infrequent that that's the case, sadly, in enterprises, but it should be, right? So we've found ways to improve that. We have tools to help bring those answers to people in the moment, right? In the context of who's the customer, what solution do they have, what stage of a journey are they in? Here's what they're going to be needing next, and here it is, right? And that's why uncovering those tasks and systems and teams in the stages of the process is really critical, because a large part of it is uncovering how challenging it is for your teams to deliver a great customer experience, because the tool sets they have don't give them the visibility and information they need in the moment to make it go well.
To learn more about CXM Engine by Ovation CXM and see it in action, visit ovationcxm.com.